Have you ever wondered how unusual a person can become before the world refuses to believe they are real? History has introduced people whose lives blurred the line between ordinary and unbelievable. Some reshaped their bodies beyond recognition, while others devoted themselves to dreams that most could never understand. Their stories spread through newspapers, television, and word of mouth because they were simply impossible to ignore. So ready to meet them, let's start this countdown with Number 15, Valencia, the human bimbo Ann implant burst through her skin, yet instead of walking away from cosmetic surgery forever, Valencia Prime chose to keep chasing the appearance she had dreamed about for years. After transitioning at 18, she secretly bought her first wig before eventually meeting a man who paid for her first breast augmentation. When that surgery ended in a painful complication, doctors removed the damaged implant and told her to wait before trying again. 3 months later, she returned for an even larger set. Since then, Valencia has undergone 4 liposuction procedures, 2 Brazilian butt lifts, facial feminization surgery, and several other cosmetic operations, spending nearly $100,000 in total. Many of the expenses were covered by wealthy admirers and loyal online supporters who also sent luxury gifts. Although cruel comments flood her social media every day, Valencia refuses to let strangers decide how she should look, believing every procedure brings her closer to the woman she has always imagined becoming. Number 14, CJ, the man whose foot became his knee. Imagine waking up after surgery and discovering your foot had become your knee. That remarkable operation gave CJ Wilkins the chance to walk after being born without a femur in his right leg. Surgeons performed a rare rotationplasty, turning his lower leg 180 degrees so his foot could function as a knee inside a prosthetic. CJ also lives with multiple hereditary exostoses, a genetic disorder that causes painful bone tumors to grow throughout childhood. Years later, surgeons removed several tumors pressing against nerves in his strongest leg, finally allowing him to walk without constant pain for the first time. Today, life brings a different challenge. His daughters, Quinn and Keiichi, both inherited the same condition. Instead of fearing the future, CJ wants them to face every surgery with confidence, treating each scar as proof of their strength, while raising his girls. He is also training to become a nurse and hopes to complete a half marathon someday. Number 13, Goddess Africa's tiny waist queen. When beauty walks through the streets of Lagos, people often stop in disbelief, trying to figure out whether the tiny curve around her waist could be real. It is. Measuring only 16 inches, her unusual figure came after a Brazilian butt lift and an experimental rib procedure that cost more than $30,000. The dream began years earlier while she watched a cartoon character whose impossibly small waist never left her imagination. On the day of surgery, fear almost changed her mind as she nervously paced the hospital and kept running back to the bathroom before finally entering the operating room. Healing was slow, and sitting comfortably was impossible for weeks. Today, critics flood her pages with cruel messages, while others secretly ask for her surgeon's number, hoping to copy her transformation. Beauty ignores both, determined to shrink her waist even further and chase a record that nobody in Africa has claimed before. Number 12, Savannah, the 6'8" woman. The moment Savannah Savvy Trap walked into the restaurant, every conversation seemed to pause as heads quietly turned in her direction. Standing an astonishing 6 feet 8 inches tall, she has spent her entire life drawing attention before saying a single word. As a child, her body grew so quickly that she shot up nearly 2 inches in just 1 month, leaving her legs sore and covered with stretch marks. By 6th grade, she was already 6 feet 2 inches tall and wearing men's size 12 shoes. Even today, finding clothes that fit is a constant struggle because dresses designed for most women barely reach their knees. During a blind date, however, her height was not the biggest surprise. She revealed that she is happily married, has another long-term partner, and practices polyamory, something many people misunderstand before hearing her story. Instead of judging her, her date listened with genuine curiosity, proving that first impressions rarely tell the whole story. Number 11, Ethan, the most modified young man at first glance. It is hard to believe Ethan Bramble was once an ordinary teenager with no tattoos at all. His fascination with body modification began when he was only 11 years old, after stretching his ears, a trend that soon turned into something far more extreme. Instead of stopping with tattoos, Ethan continued changing almost every part of his body. By the age of 22, he had already undergone around 40 body modification procedures. His tongue was split in two, his belly button was removed, and he even chose to have ink injected into his eyeballs, despite knowing the procedure carried the risk of permanent blindness. Slowly, his skin disappeared beneath layers of tattoos until almost nothing was left untouched. While many people struggle to understand why anyone would go that far, Ethan has never tried to fit in. He wanted a look nobody else could copy, and he certainly succeeded in creating exactly that. Number 10, Pixie, the woman who removed 6 ribs. Most people would have stopped the moment doctors mentioned removing 6 healthy ribs, but Pixie Fox believed that was the only way to create the tiny waist she had imagined for years. Before making that decision, she spent every day wearing a tight corset, shrinking her waist to about 18 inches. Even that was not enough. She eventually chose surgery, adding it to a long list of cosmetic procedures that already included 4 nose jobs, several breast augmentations, liposuction on both thighs, cheek fillers, lip fillers, a Brazilian butt lift, Botox, permanent makeup, and a brow lift. The rib operation lasted about 4 hours and permanently changed the shape of her body. While many people wondered why she kept going, Pixie never spoke as though she had reached the finish line. Instead, she admitted she still wanted more procedures, continuing to chase the image that had existed in her mind long before it ever appeared in the mirror. Number 9, Rodrigo, the human Ken doll, before anyone knew him as the human Ken doll. Rodrigo Alves was a teenager who dreaded looking in the mirror because classmates constantly mocked his appearance. They teased his nose and laughed after hormonal changes caused him to develop breasts, making school a place he wanted to escape. At 17, his parents agreed to breast reduction surgery, and that single operation changed everything. Rodrigo soon became convinced that plastic surgery could erase every feature he had ever been criticized for. Over the years, he spent more than $900,000 chasing the perfectly polished look of the famous Ken doll. The price was far greater than money. One nose operation caused a serious infection that nearly claimed his life, while another procedure left his arms temporarily paralyzed. Even those frightening setbacks failed to change his mind. Rodrigo kept returning to the operating room, believing the next surgery would finally bring him closer to the face he had spent years searching for. Number 8. Sheldon, the man who wanted to become Justin Bieber. What would make someone spend more than $100,000 just to wake up with another person's face? For Toby Sheldon, that question had only one answer. He became completely fascinated with Justin Bieber's youthful appearance and carried photographs of the singer to plastic surgeons, asking them to recreate every detail they could. Over the years, his lips, nose, eyes, hairline, and facial features were altered again and again as he searched for the perfect resemblance. Instead of bringing him the admiration he imagined, the dramatic makeover made him the subject of endless headlines and public ridicule. His story later appeared on the television series Botched, introducing millions to the lengths he had gone. Toby even tried to build a music career, hoping people would finally see more than his appearance. Sadly, in 2015, he disappeared without warning and was later found dead inside a motel room, bringing his remarkable story to a heartbreaking end. Number 7, Jackson, the woman who chased perfection. The woman in the mirror never looked quite right to Cindy Jackson, no matter how many times she changed her face. After her father passed away when she was 21, she used part of her inheritance to pay for cosmetic surgery, believing a few small changes would finally give her the confidence she had always wanted. Instead, one operation quietly led to another. Over the years, Cindy underwent 14 surgical procedures and more than 45 non-surgical treatments, including facelifts, nose surgeries, eyelid surgery, chin reduction, liposuction, chemical peels, Botox, fillers, and semi-permanent makeup. For a time, she even held the world record for the most cosmetic procedures performed on a single person. Yet she never saw herself as someone chasing attention. She simply believed there was always another detail that could be improved. Eventually, her unusual experience opened another door, leading her to build a career advising celebrities on how to achieve natural-looking cosmetic results instead. Number 6. Vanilla, the woman who wanted to become a French doll. Most childhood fantasies disappear with age, but Vanilla Shamu chose to spend years turning one into reality. Ever since she was young, she had been captivated by the delicate beauty of French dolls and dreamed of looking exactly like one. Rather than letting that dream fade, she began transforming herself one feature at a time. As a teenager, she lightened her skin, dyed her hair ginger, enlarged her breasts, and reshaped her chin, lips, nose, and eyelids to match the porcelain appearance she had imagined for years. By 2013, she had already undergone around 30 cosmetic procedures, spending more than $100,000 pursuing that vision. Even after everything she had changed, Vanilla never believed the journey was complete. She openly spoke about wanting leg-lengthening surgery, one of the most demanding cosmetic procedures available, because she felt it would bring her even closer to the doll she had admired since childhood. For her, the transformation was far from over. Number 5. Dennis Avner, stalking cat. What begins with a single tattoo can sometimes end with a face the world has never seen before. Dennis Avner, better known as Stalking Cat, believed the tiger was more than an animal. To him, it was a part of who he truly was. At 23, he took the first step by adding tiger stripes to his body, but that small change quickly grew into a lifelong transformation. One modification led to another until his appearance no longer resembled the man he had once been. His nose was reshaped, implants changed the outline of his forehead, and long synthetic whiskers were threaded through piercings around his mouth. Much of the work was performed by independent body modification artists because procedures this extreme were not accepted through conventional medical practice. Every session brought pain, yet Dennis never spoke about regret. While strangers saw someone impossible to understand, he believed he had finally become the person he was always meant to be, and that belief never changed. Number 4. Anne, the woman who wanted to look older while millions of people spend fortunes trying to look younger. Anne did something that almost nobody could understand. She asked cosmetic doctors to make her look older instead. Becoming a grandmother at just 47 left her in an uncomfortable position because strangers repeatedly mistook her son for her boyfriend. The confusion never seemed to end, and the constant attention from younger men created problems in her marriage and later relationships. Instead of enjoying compliments about her youthful appearance, Anne grew exhausted by them. She eventually chose treatments designed to add wrinkles rather than erase them, hoping her face would finally reflect the stage of life she was living. Friends struggled to understand why anyone would willingly give up a youthful appearance, but Anne saw it differently. She was not chasing beauty or trying to impress anyone. She simply wanted people to stop making the wrong assumptions the moment they looked at her. For Anne, looking older felt like finally becoming herself again. Number 3. Eric Sprague, the lizardman. Imagine spending more than 700 hours under a tattoo needle just to become something that does not even exist. That was the path Eric Sprague willingly chose. Better known as the lizardman, he was determined to reshape his appearance until it reflected the reptilian creature he felt connected to. His transformation began with tattoo sessions that slowly covered his body in detailed green scales, but the ink was only the beginning. Eric later split his tongue, added implants above his eyebrows, and continued modifying his face until it carried the unmistakable look of a lizard. Many of these procedures were performed outside traditional medical clinics because such extreme body modifications were rarely accepted by conventional surgeons. Wherever he traveled, people stopped, stared, and often struggled to believe what they were seeing. Eric never tried to hide from that attention. Instead, he embraced it, appearing in traveling shows and public events, convinced that his unusual appearance finally reflected the identity he had carried inside for years. Number 2, Herbert the man who wanted to become Superman. How far would someone go if a childhood hero never stopped feeling real? For Herbert Chavez, that question shaped nearly 2 decades of his life. While most fans admired Superman from a distance, Herbert dreamed of seeing that familiar face every time he looked in the mirror. Beginning in 1995, he slowly transformed his appearance through cosmetic surgery, determined to resemble the superhero who had inspired him since childhood. Over the next 17 years, he underwent around 19 procedures, including nose reshaping, lip enhancement, skin whitening, liposuction, and abdominal implants. In total, he spent more than $8,000 bringing that lifelong vision to life. Once he finally achieved the look he had imagined, Herbert did not keep it hidden. He regularly dressed as Superman, walked through public streets, posed for photographs, and happily greeted children who instantly recognized their favorite hero. Many people saw an obsession, but Herbert saw something completely different. Every surgery was his way of paying tribute to the character whose kindness and courage had inspired him throughout his entire life. Number 1, Wheelchair Rapunzel. Alex Dacey, known online as Wheelchair Rapunzel, is based in Chicago and was born with spinal muscular atrophy, a genetic condition that weakens muscles and limits movement. But instead of letting her condition control her life, she chose to live boldly and unapologetically. She built a powerful online presence by speaking openly about disability, confidence, and self-worth. She shares fearless photos, sometimes in lingerie, showing that disability doesn't erase beauty, attraction, or identity. She even launched her own merchandise line focused on pride and visibility. Her condition affects her spine, arms, and even swallowing, and as a teenager, she nearly needed a feeding tube. But after treatment like Spinraza, she regained strength and better control of her arms, changing her daily life. With her mom's help, she does her makeup, styles her hair, and continues to live on her own terms. Whether people support her or criticize her, she refuses to shrink herself for anyone. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss our next one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.